Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Senior Vice President, Cloud Platform, Infrastructure, Security, Mobility, BI at Oracle, Steve Daheb.
Pump it up. Yeah, I was kidding. Dan, Enterprise rock stars. That was actually pretty cool, man. I'm glad I got to get played up to that. Wanted to thank everybody for joining this session today. I know the IT track. So my name's Steve Daheb. I'm excited to spend the time with you. I really want to spend some time talking a little bit about what's going on in the market, specifically what Oracle's cloud strategy is, and have you come out understanding really who we are, what we do, why it matters, and as you look on towards a journey to cloud, why Oracle, and why Oracle is the best partner for you. And you can't start talking about cloud without talking about this massive transformation that's happening out there in the market today. Right? Cloud really is changing everything. It's changing how businesses run. It's changing how people work. It's creating new categories. It's disrupting existing categories. And it's changing the economic of business forever for all types of businesses, government, education, healthcare, retail. It's a very dynamic shift. And it's happening at an incredible pace, and it's here today. It actually presents an incredible opportunity for all of us. And as we think about this current transformation to cloud, it really got me thinking about Oracle's role in other transformations, the role that we've served with our customers on their journeys for almost the last 4 decades. We've been there for you, from mainframe to client server, to the rise of the internet, to mobile, to cloud, and to be honest, whatever comes next, because we all know there's always something next. But through each one of these technology transitions and the accompanying changing business models, we've been that partner on their journey with the customers. And when you look at Oracle over those 40 years, who we are hasn't really changed. Who we are actually might surprise you. Oracle started out as a little company with a big idea. Right? We thought that companies that set out to change the world should stand for something, have a fundamental belief. And ours was that the foundation of information technology was actually managing the information. And while the technology may have changed or the words may have changed modestly over the time, it really still the simplest expression of what we do and why we exist. Now, this is actually cool. This is our first office building. We actually started out as software development laboratories. I don't know if you guys know this, almost 40 years ago. And we got the name Oracle from actually one of our first projects, and it was the code name of a project we were working with on the CIA. It was codename Oracle, and that's actually how we got our name. But yeah, the founders figured out they moved in, didn't have a sign. They went down to the local hardware store, grabbed some gear, and this was our first sign. Now, I'll say while the signage may have arguably got better, our mission is still the same. We're still on that same journey. It's about connecting people and businesses to information. That's what we do at the end of the day, regardless of the underlying delivery mechanism. And if you think about it, we're still in the information age. We've never left it. It's about mobilizing information. It's about securing information. It's about analyzing information. It's about sharing information. It's about information that fuels the applications that run our business. And when we can connect the power of information with cloud, we can enable some incredible things as an IT group. We can create a connected experience and the freedom to work from anywhere because we know work is no longer a place. We can securely access important things because we know they're there safe. We can share and collaborate regardless of location. We can democratize information access and provide real-time insights to all. And this is one of the biggest game changers, and we'll talk about this, because when aggregated data across multiple sources can get into the hands of the right people who need it versus being held with the chosen few, that's going to have impact. That's going to have change. I can do some incredible things there. And then ultimately, it's not a big debate. It should be about spanning premise and cloud, because at the end of the day, information lives in both. So you have to have a solution that can actually span both. And ultimately, it's about new possibilities, redefining how businesses run and people work. That is our opportunity with cloud today. So how do we capitalize on the opportunity? You need to have a solution that provides a path from brick and mortar to mobile and cloud, and to be honest, everything in between, right? A solution continuum spanning those two sides, bridging those two sides. And so how do we do it? It actually takes many pieces working together. I think Oracle uniquely combines the pieces into a solution that is much greater than the sum of the parts. mean, at the end of the day, would you architect your enterprise this way? I mean, silos are not good for business, but right now we have different departments that have contracted with different cloud providers, marketing, sales, HR, finance, to deploy different solutions. I have different environments for my production, for my applications, for my test dev. We get very little leverage and synergy out of that, right? Silos prevent the sharing of ideas and resources. And companies that can break down those silos are the ones that are going to innovate and win moving forward. And so how does Oracle help you do this? By providing a series of connected layers, right? Spanning infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, software as a service, engineered to work together seamlessly. I mean, when technology can be integrated to deliver real solutions, when applications can be enriched and extended to meet our needs, when we can aggregate data across different multiple sources in order to get real insights, and when we can connect cloud with on-prem, again, then we really have something that's much more special than just the piece parts. It really is about being greater than the sum of the parts. And that sort of union has power. What are we able to do with that? We allow our customers, your customers, those you serve, to focus on what matters the most. Don't assemble the information. We spent way too much time assembling the information. Take advantage of it. Who better to manage and run Oracle database than Oracle? Let us do that for you in the cloud, and you spend your own resources doing those things that are mission critical to your business. And when you look at some of those things, what might they be? How do I drive a better customer experience? By having deeper insights into what's happening into the market. Turn my customers into true advocates for my product. Understand the buying trends and better serve their needs. Get competitive advantage. How do I have better insight into what's going on into all my systems in an aggregated way and drive operational efficiency? How do I enable the company to drive new innovation? And I think this is a really important role for IT. I'll tell you, my dad was a CIO, so I actually grew up around this. Started out as an IT director, management, MIS director, and he always saw himself as a great enabler. He thought about what he was doing as having impact on the business. And I think this is true. I think there's an amazing opportunity, particularly with cloud, for us to come in and drive these and enable the business in a very interesting and differentiated way. So now when you start looking at cloud solutions, you first have to start with the solutions that connect the customer experience, from marketing to sales to commerce to the modern HR tools that we build to run our businesses and hire people to run our businesses. But when you look at what happened today, it's getting a little out of control, right? So I need my Marketo, I need my Adobe, I have my Salesforce here, I have some SAP, I'm dropping in Tableau, I'm doing some Workday, I got some things on Azure, I got some things on AWS, I got my Oracle workloads on-prem. It's like, wasn't cloud supposed to be easy? I mean, we're running headfirst into the same problems that cloud was actually supposed to try to simplify for us, right? And the magic is in actually how do we integrate these different pieces? And I think this is where Oracle, at the software as a service layer, has a great, compelling solution. Not only can we provide best in class for each point product, but collectively we provide the best in class suite as well. My background is I'm a 3-time public company CMO. So for me, the holy grail, if somebody could come to me and say, I could aggregate your marketing data with your sales data, with your finance data, with your service data, that is a conversation that I like to have. So use me as that LOB example. If my IT team came and said, I can give you that in a golden master that's consistent across multiple databases and allow you to do third-party augmentation, other things, I'm all in on that. I'd much rather have that provided as a service than try to do it myself, right? Shadow IT, which I have been accused of doing in the past. Beyond the SaaS applications, we're also seeing the intersection of demand to extend and enrich those applications with an underlying platform of change to do so. So this is where our platform as a service comes in, where you can provide the integration across the multiple applications, the data management, the analytics, the security, et cetera. And then foundational to all of this is these core infrastructure as a service offerings. So your core networking, your core compute, your core storage, that's foundational to all of these. So go back to core foundation for infrastructure as a service with this platform for change, platform as a service, integrated with software as a service at the top end. This is a story that no other vendor can tell, right? Some might be at one layer trying to move into another. Some might be at the top layer trying to move down. And we're going to actually show you some of those journeys and where Oracle could take you versus maybe where some of our competitors come. So we've talked about the drivers for change. We've talked about cloud transformation and what that means. Now I'd like to spend a few minutes talking about our solutions. And when you start talking about solutions, you always first have to start with those corporate priorities and expectations. I need a solution that provides always-on availability. I have need to meet demand for faster innovation cycles, security and regulatory compliance. How do I address my total cost of ownership and maybe move from a CapEx to an OpEx variable cost model? How do I provide rapid, flexible deployment options where I can turn something on quickly when I need it and turn it down when I don't? How do I simplify the migration of all apps, the integration of all apps, and creating new apps that I also integrate back to multi-SaaS, multi-cloud, and on-prem? So when you look at our PaaS layer, we have the most complete set of solutions across every major category. From data management, to application development, to integration, to content and process with the aspects of social, to the visual analytics. I mean, Oracle provides the broadest stack of analytics in the market. I can aggregate the data, I can prepare the data, and then I can do the visual analytics. So it's a one-stop shop for really a full analytics suite. The security that we need. And then ultimately, IT operations management, the IT analytics, the log analytics, and how I can actually manage the performance of my applications to ensure that my users actually have the best experience. It's not just one platform that has multiple services, but these services get applied to multiple use cases. Extending SaaS support to support my unique requirements, enabling enterprise mobility, sharing documents, collaborating, and automating processes. You know, it's really a new way of work. It's redefining the workflow. Visual analytics in the cloud. Look, I might just move dev and test in the cloud. Why would I need to provision hardware to do that? That's going to take a long time, and then it just might sit idle. Sounds like a no-brainer first mover workload to cloud. Then ultimately, how can I move all production workloads to cloud? Big data, multiple data sources, real-time analytics, and then how do I manage all these environments? So again, multiple use cases offered by Oracle, all based on the services we offer today. And here's the great thing too, for all of us, we have a compelling story to go back and tell to all stakeholders, right? We realize the different lines of business had their initiatives, there are stakeholders, we're the service brokers, so how do we address corporate IT and development? Line of business users, business analysts, architect and operators. So let's walk through that quickly together. So for developers, it's about building rich and high-performance apps in the cloud. How do I mobilize the back end of my applications and create new native mobile apps? How do I enrich, integrate, and secure my current SaaS applications? I might have got about 70% out-of-box functionality, but there's things I need to customize to get it right for my company. And the benefits around rapid environment setup and teardown, rapid application testing, which goes to time to innovation and time to market, and understanding that this is the same products that I'm used to using on-prem now in the cloud. For line of business users, you don't need to know the bits and bytes of me as a CMO, but there's some universal truths that all line of business owners care about. How do I provide secure and simplified file sharing for my teams? Foster that collaboration, make sure they have access to the same content or to education or what have you. Process automation with integrated social and mobile, docs, sites for categories. Instant access to rich analytics in the hands of the LOB, marketing analytics, campaign performance management, sales analytics, HR analytics in terms of the trends of the employee base and for those they're trying to hire. And the great thing is, you know, it's an existing skill set and applications, but we're interconnecting them in a unique way to provide the data. Business analysts, this goes to the full stack that Oracle provides for analytics. Integrated, best-in-class analytics that span cloud, on-premise, and mobile integration. interactive visual analytics and discovery. So this is no special skills. I could actually sit down and use this myself, which is saying a lot. It's insights across all data types, SQL, Hadoop, NoSQL, local files, and this really is a complete big data solution. And then finally, for architects and operators, how do I create sandbox, dev test, deployment, training environments? How do I manage across cloud, on-premise, and mobile? Enable single sign-on, right? Authentication across mobile, on-prem, and cloud. All apps, not just Oracle. How to monitor and manage the cloud and on-premise performance. So again, multiple things in terms of how I would design, deploy, and ongoing manage a cloud environment, and one that would tie back to the investment I've already made on-prem. Now, we talked about that foundational piece of infrastructure as a service, and we do provide an extensive set of secure, reliable, and low-cost services. We created all these services, we drove them to market, and then we actually did one other thing. We made them very competitive in terms of pricing, right? So these are affordable to everybody. In the case of things like archive storage, we're about the 10th the price of Amazon, right? So these are great things. But I'd say the real differentiation is not just in the compute, but actually how we allow you to sort of migrate to that. So Oracle simplifies the migration of all enterprise workloads, shortening the migration time. I can simply migrate Oracle applications. I can pick up at the VM, KVM level apps fully containerized and move them over. Right? Really, how do we simplify that migration? It's about that journey and understanding how we can best support our customers doing it. Support all workloads, but then ultimately have very tight integration with our own offerings. So we've talked about the solutions, and I want to talk a little bit about the journey. Right? Everyone sort of talks about this journey to cloud. They're all a little bit different. Every journey starts from where you stand today. Certain level of investments I've made. There's certain things that are going to stay on-prem, and I cannot move to cloud. I'm all in on cloud, and I got to get there as fast as I can. I expect a decade of coexistence between what's on-premise and what's on cloud. I'm starting with SaaS. I'm starting with infrastructure as a service. So how do we guide you on that path? How do we provide what we believe are the most critical items customers need in order to move forward on the journey? And when we look at that, we think of two important ones. Choice. Choice of how I actually deploy cloud. And ultimately, access to innovation. What are the ways that I can actually access the cloud innovation, right, real time? So when we start with choice, this is an important slide. Because we look at it, no other vendor really quite has this story. So if you think about a public cloud offering and customers that have been buying our solutions on-prem for years, we give them deployment choice. It's the same products. It's the same standards. It's unified management across both. I can actually create a workload on-prem, and I can move it and run it to cloud. I can create something in cloud, and I can decide to run it on-prem. This is the same skill set. It's the same thing that teams are doing already. It's the same products in the cloud. This is about choice. If I'm a hardware vendor on one side and HP and EMC and NetApp, I don't have a path to cloud for you. If I'm on Amazon, okay, well, what do I do with my 17 million lines of code legacy app? Well, I'm not really, care about what's still on-prem. I'm focusing on moving workloads to the cloud. But we realize that, for our customers, that's not feasible. You have to have a solution that contemplates both and integrates both. Now, there's actually an interesting thing that we're announcing today here as well. And when you look at this, like, what about customers on-prem that actually would like to deploy public cloud services, but they haven't been able to for some reason? Maybe data sovereignty issues. Maybe it's about control. Maybe it's about latency. So these fundamental issues that have prevented them from adopting, public cloud from a vendor. Right? And so what we announced today, and Thomas had talked about it earlier, was our ability to do so. Take our public cloud and deploy it at a customer's premise, sitting behind their firewall, where they get all the benefits of public cloud. They consume it like public cloud. It is subscription like public cloud. The experience is public cloud. It is public cloud. But we're able to install and deploy within the customer's premise, behind their firewall, so it can still meet their regulatory, their data sovereignty, and other issues. We announced a set of services that are going to be available initially, including a full suite of IaaS as a service, database as a service, job as a service, and integration cloud service. So again, these are the same cloud services available in our public cloud today. And we'll also, in the near future, be delivering Exadata and big data as well. Again, all of our services available at customer, living behind the firewall, so customers have choice. Okay, I can do a private cloud myself, or I can go to a public cloud, and now I have the opportunity to go to public cloud in a way I wasn't able to adopt it before. So again, this really just goes to our choice. So uniquely to this product, this is Oracle Cloud operated and delivered as a service behind your firewall. It's the identical IaaS PaaS as Oracle Cloud, so extreme portability and being able to move back and forth. It's the same subscription pricing model as Oracle Cloud. The same I'm paying for database as a service, I'm paying for behind my firewall, delivered to my prem. A single platform for development, deployment, managing Oracle and non-Oracle workloads, where I can write once and I can decide to deploy to my device on-prem, Oracle public cloud machine, or I can push it to the cloud. So it gives me that flexibility and ultimately allows me to conform to regulatory, privacy, legal frameworks while I'm consuming services on a public cloud basis. So again, this is us understanding that customers want to move to cloud, that everybody's journey is going to be different, that you have to have choice in terms of how customers can adopt cloud. And this is, again, just sort of further, I think, proof of really dedication and innovation from our development team in Oracle to actually help make that a reality for customers. So we're really excited about this news. And it's interesting, this is a great quote from Gartner. Some vendors know enterprise, some vendors know cloud. Only those that can master both will be leaders. So you got to think about the ability to understand how it's going to be consumed, what the different delivery mechanisms might be. Is it my own private cloud? Is it public cloud? Is it public cloud machine behind my firewall? So this is all about choice. This is really about truly understanding the enterprise and understanding cloud and bringing those together. And I think that's something that Oracle uniquely does. Ultimately, we see this as about building a bridge. I think a lot of people talk about cloud out there as a one-way street. Move your stuff to cloud. Well, what about everything? I got 10, 20 years worth of investment here. I got legacy apps that have a long tail that I can't move to cloud. So it's about giving them choice and options, and understanding the bridge lets you bring them forward, but also lets you connect both sides and come back. And that's been our strategy, and I think that's different than anybody else out there. And I think this allows us to uniquely walk the journey with our customers. And when I think about the journey to cloud, I think about one that starts with business operations. It's a single process, it's a single product, I'm just simply running the business. It's ultimately something that becomes much more transformational, right? Multiple services, multiple products, cloud-based IT that gives me the scalability, the agility, the time to market, delivering on the experience, on the innovation, on the operational efficiency. And so it's sort of fun to take a look at how a few of these might unfold for a customer. So one customer might start with just a SaaS app, maybe a single new one. I have my ERP, my HCM, everything on-prem, but I've decided to use a CRM app in the cloud. Now, what happens when I have multiple SaaS apps, or I have to connect that app back to premise? This is a discussion. I've the 140 customers since October, and the first thing's like, how do I integrate across all of these? Right? It becomes a problem. Once I've integrated, what do I want to do to extend and enrich the applications? Or I might need to create a new application because I can't get anything off the shelf that meets my needs. And then ultimately, it's a path towards full cloud IT. So this just might be one path. And I'll tell you, most software vendors are going to leave you at that first step. You have to go work with somebody else to start integrating across third-party applications. And again, this is something that Oracle understands the path and can walk each step with you. Another example, I started with IaaS. So swiped a credit card using just simple compute. But I want to start moving dev test. All of a sudden, I want to start moving critical production or HA workloads to the cloud. Right? Start to move to that strategic PaaS layer. Now that I have all that data moved to the cloud, How can I aggregate it? How can I manage it? How can I get those deep insights out of it that would actually help me run a more effective business, have that impact, drive me towards business transformation and fully adopted cloud IT? And you can start at you can start with dev test. You can start with new app development. So it doesn't have to be sort of every path is going to be different. But when you think about the path and what you might walk into over that period of time during your journey, again, these are all the steps I think Oracle can uniquely walk with you. There's going to be a lot of IaaS vendors out there that are going to leave you at that step. So again, you got to think through holistically about that journey, and we're really proud about what we're able to offer. What we're probably most proud of is customers that are taking that journey with us, right? And just a few stories that I'd love to share with you guys. Avaya is a great example of a customer. 25,000 partners that deliver over 70% of their revenue. And so they needed a way to better manage their partner ecosystems. Their current SaaS offering wasn't just doing it. So they used Oracle Sales Cloud, PRM tool, along with Java Cloud Service, and they were able to eliminate a lot of costs that they had associated with customizing applications for, again, over 25,000 partners. With this, they were able to get about 80% of what they needed with out-of-the-box functionality, and then with JCS, they're able to get that 20% additional needed. And this is interesting, and then they connected third-party apps. So this was connecting SAP on-prem and Salesforce in the cloud with Oracle. So using our integration service to be able to do that as well. And they expect massive cost savings over time, 30% reduction in the ongoing costs they had for the CRM management. So significant impact. JDS Uniphase is a great example. They actually consolidated almost their entire app footprint, and they moved it to cloud. Oracle HCM, talent management, EPM, all in the cloud. They implemented database as a service, Java Cloud Service, Integration Cloud Service, and BI. And they're living that dream about easily moving workloads to cloud, extending and enriching these SaaS applications, and integrating them to get rich insights over the analytics that I can drive through aggregated source of the information. And you can see this pay-per-use development cycle, right? They came as this like a fraction of what it would cost me to actually run this on-prem, right? So now somebody has a request for a new development project, gets submitted to me, I have to go order the hardware, takes maybe 4 to 6 weeks to get dropped off on my docks, then I got to rack and stack it, I got to load all the software, I got to provision it, then they have an instance. Or I can just log on to Oracle Cloud and have an instance going in about 3 minutes, like 30 clicks. That's game changing. That's time to market. That has impact, and JDS Uniphase is experiencing that. Halliburton's a great example. One of the world's largest oil services company, about $33 billion in revenue, and they just needed faster business innovation for on-premise and public cloud integration. They're like, we can not afford downtime, 24/7 continuous operations, no missed deadlines, no unexplained outages, and be able to do this at scale across very massive products. And so they used Oracle Storage Cloud, Database Cloud, and Java Cloud Services to actually do that. And finally, this one, and it's not the biggest brand name, but this one probably means the most to me. It's about improving student outcomes. So this is interesting. This is Valdesta State. And they're using Oracle Analytics Cloud and our BI Cloud Service, aggregating and analyzing student data. And what they found that first-generation students, these are students that come from low-income families, and then they're first in their families to actually go to college, right? For those of us who have kids, probably the greatest gift you can give them is that of education and being there for them. But what they found was these low-income students were actually having an 11% matriculation rate in 6 years. Almost 90% of them were dropping out. So they did the analytics, and they identified these interesting correlations. If they had access to meals on campus and jobs on campus, it had a massive impact on retention. So they did that, and they're actually on track to get a 7% increase. And actually for them, from a business perspective, $2 million additional tuition fees. So that's great, but for me, I sit back and we talk a lot about the how and the what. And I think particularly people in this room, it's about the why, right? The impact that this can have on a student that had access to education that he might not have had, and what he could potentially do going forward. And I think that's the impact that we all sort of think about. So that's the Oracle story. You know, in summary, when you look at it from a cloud perspective, it is a single integrated platform that provides the broadest set of SaaS apps, the broadest integrated PaaS suite, seamless integration across infrastructure, platform, software as a service, workload portability across public and private clouds, and as we've seen with the customer at cloud launch, that set of services with the Oracle Cloud Machine, choice of cloud deployment, public or on-premise. Again, all these things are options to help enable the journey. So, you know, our commitment, you know, we started talking about why Oracle, we started talking about our journey, talked about those core fundamental beliefs that have guided us for over 4 decades. And I'd say, you know, some things have never changed. You know, we're still committed to those foundational beliefs of architecting and engineering things so you don't have to, helping our customers with the change and providing that guidance, that best-in-class technology, those integrated suites, so we can seamlessly walk every journey together, which we have, like we have for the last 40 years. And I think specific to cloud, again, there's a great opportunity for us. And as you look at cloud vendors, you know, look at those that are going to offer a unified stack. Have that solution continuum that's going to span all layers of cloud. One that's going to be able to bridge cloud back to the investments we all have already made, you know, that starting point of where we are today. Because again, everybody's journey is going to be different. So for wherever you might be on your journey, we believe Oracle's got the solution for you. So with that, I'd like to thank you for your time in attending this breakout session, and I look forward to seeing you guys out there maybe around the demo area. So thank you very much.